Well, praise the Lord. You were born to win. Listen, I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what you're experiencing right now. It doesn't matter. I want you to know that you were born to win. Bishop, how do you know? How do you know that I was born to win? Because he tells us in his word, he says he always causes us to triumph. He also said that I know the thoughts and the plans I have for you, the thoughts of good and not of evil, they're only to give you, yes, you, an expected end. Why? Because you were born to win. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, he knew you. He called you to be a prophet to a nation. There's something on the inside of you that you have to carry to a nation. They're waiting to hear your voice. They're waiting to hear your testimony. They're waiting to hear how you overcame. Why? Because you were born to win. We got an amazing word for you on tonight. I'm starting a new sermon series tonight called Manhood. But before I do, I want to just talk about some things. Number one, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers that are out there. My mom, happy Mother's Day to you, my beautiful wife of my 3 beautiful children. Happy Mother's Day to you, my mother-in-law. Happy Mother's Day to you, and newly mother. Well, no, she's not new anymore. She's like 2 years in now. My sister-in-law, Tamula, yelling, happy Mother's Day to you. And to all of the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day to you, man. This is your moment. This is your day. You know, I always feel bad on Mother's Day because you can't get a place to eat. You can't go anywhere to sit down. All the restaurants are booked. But when it's Father's Day, you can walk in. You can walk in that day and get a place. I remember last week, my wife and I, we were out of town celebrating my birthday. And when we were out of town celebrating my birthday, I was at we were at the Cheesecake Factory. And when we were at the Cheesecake Factory, I was talking to the people the other day, and I said, so next weekend you guys are going to be booked. She's like, yeah, we're going to be packed out on next weekend because it's going to be Mother's Day. You deserve it. You deserve it. The mother is the first teacher of the child. And I believe that you guys deserve that particular day. So happy Mother's Day to you. We've been gone for about 2 weeks now. We celebrated my wife's birthday 1 week, and then my wife and our birthday is exactly 1 week apart. A lot of people don't know that. Our birthday is 1 week apart, so we celebrated my birthday on last weekend, and then on the 24th, we'll be celebrating 25 years of marriage. I've been with my best friend for 25 years. God, I thank you for just keeping us and just blessing us. And we've just had a wonderful life together. We're starting a new series tonight, and the series is called Manhood, Identity in Crisis. Take this opportunity now to share the video, share it to men that you know that are in high school, men that are up and coming, men that you don't, you know, that are probably having some questioning and some issues about how to become a man and what is the expectations of a man. Please take this opportunity now and share the video. We're going to share this bumper with you, and then we'll be back to talk about the message. What is a man? Identity in Crisis. Our background text for this series is coming from Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27. Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 and 27. Listen to what it says. Then God said, let us make man in our image, and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over every cattle and everything on the earth, over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. You have dominion and power, man, over creeps. You know, those creepy people. You have dominion and power over creeps. Now, listen to this. So, God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he them, male and female created he them. What is a man? Tonight, we're going to start this series by introducing it with what I heard over and over again coming up as a young man. And I really believe, guys, my father did an amazing job raising me as a man. I really believe that. And I'm going to share some tough lessons that he taught me coming up. But I learned some valuable lessons on what it takes to be a man. I see it all the time. You know, when you're on Facebook and when you're strolling at night and you look at different things, I see so many people, talking heads, saying, this is what a man should do. And that is what a man should do. And here is what a man should be. And here is how a man should act. And it's confusing sometimes because some of the things that they say does not line up with what the words say a man should be. How many of you out there heard someone say, somebody you know say to you, you need to act like a man, or you need to be a man, or this is how a man should be? But the things that they were saying did not quite line up with what a man is or what manhood should look like. I'm going to share some false theories that I heard coming up as a man. So I'm going to talk about some false theories to kind of introduce this. And then I'm going to talk about, I want to talk about what it means and the importance of a man. The importance of a man. That's what I want to talk about tonight. That's why I titled this, Act Like a Man, because I want you to understand the significant role that we have as men. So let's talk about this for a moment. How many of you have heard this says, real men don't cry? I heard that as a young man coming up. I remember there would be times when my feelings and my emotions would just be shattered. I mean, shattered. And I've heard older men in the church, older men in the community, older coaches tell me, men don't cry. And what that did, it caused man to go within themselves. And now you have an adult man that don't know how to express how he truly feels. Or if you meet a man that expresses how he truly feels and he's articulate and he's able to say how he really feels, that is viewed as a negative point in our society. So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to hold our feelings within ourselves and die a premature death from heart attack, stroke, and all this stuff because you're holding all these emotions and all these feelings on the inside? So are you supposed to die a premature death because of that? Or are you supposed to just talk how you feel or say and be expressive on how you feel? Because that's what people will say. A real man should do this, or a real man should do that. A real man should do this. A real man should not do this. A real man don't cry. How many of y'all heard about this one? Real men, we box it out. We take it to the grass. So in other words, they teaching you to, in order to be a real man or to express what masculinity really is, you have to use brute force. You got to be some kind of brute, some kind of a barbaric person that uses their fist to fight or to get your point across. So whenever you get frustrated now as an adult, whenever you get frustrated and angry now as a young man, you now want to take stuff to the grave. You really want to punch your boss in the face. You really want to fight that person in the next cubicle. But how many know you can't do that? Because that's called assault and battery. And at some point, that could be a felony and you could end up in jail, lose your job, and lose your family. So what are we supposed to do as men? How many of y'all heard this? Real men loud, and we're able to, we're loud and we have a commanding voice in the room. So real men are very, very loud and we're very, very expressive. And real men use things like profanity. When you want to express your point or you want to say something or you want to get somebody told, you use profanity to express how you really feel. Real men use profanity. Real men are loud. Real men talk rough. Real men talk tough. And now here you are, you're in a relationship with someone. And whenever you get angry and you want to express yourself, you use profanity. Or whenever you want to say something to help someone, or whenever you want to say something to really get a point across, you come off rude. Because you were never taught how to express yourself in an educated way, or the man that speaks softly, he's viewed in a negative connotation because he's articulate, he's educated, he knows how to control himself. He has a soft voice, but yet firm, but yet he's seen in a negative view because they told you that real men talk this way. One of my favorite stories is about Tony Dungy. And Tony Dungy was a head coach in the NFL, and he would never, ever use profanity. That's one thing a lot of people that work with me as a coach, they'll tell you, whenever I got upset, I never used profanity. I have used profanity before. And depending on how angry I get, you may catch some, or you may, yeah, you might. I don't know. But when I'm talking to someone's child, and no matter how angry they make me, I would never use profanity at that child. Al Poe, I used to work for him as a football coach in Montgomery, Alabama. He taught me something that was so powerful. Al Poe taught me, he said, listen, you never challenge a child's character. Always challenge their technique. So in other words, you never say you a lazy bum or you this or you sorry. No, you challenge their technique. And what I love about Tony Dungy is when he would bring those men in at the first day of camp, he would talk real low to them and he would say, this is as high as I'm going to ever raise my voice. I'm never going to get louder than this, but you knew he mean business. But I didn't hear that growing up. I heard men are boisterous, men are expressive, men show their feelings in anger. How many heard this one? A real man handles and pays all the money and all the bills in the house. That's what real men do. You know, we handle all of the money and we pay all of the bills in the house. No, that's called control. That's called control. When you got to have your hands in everything and you don't trust people. Well, let me tell you a personal testimony. I came into my marriage with that mindset. Real men handle all the money and real men pay all the bills. The problem was I was not good at handling money and I was not good at paying bills. So what did that do? Things being turned off, things being repossessed, things being taken away from us. I didn't have enough. I only knew what people told me. They said this is what a real man did. Now here's the problem with that. Instead of me deferring to somebody that's in my home that's more acute in that area, they know how to handle money. As a matter of fact, they majored in that in college, made all A's in math. Now, I never made A's in math. Never made A's in math, but I'm going to handle all the money. Hate doing math, barely went to class, but I'm going to handle all the money in the home and I'm going to pay all the bills. And my wife trusted me to do that. I thank God for her doing that, but she was just as crazy as I was because here I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I had no clue on what I was doing and everything's being turned off, stuff not being paid because that's what they told me men do. Now, here's the thing with that. Here's the problem with that. And here's what I went through. When stuff got turned off and we didn't have enough money to pay the debt and all these things are closing up on us and stuff like that, I attached my self-worth to the ability to pay the bills. And when I couldn't do that, the enemy started talking to me and started saying, you're no good. You're nothing. You need to kill yourself. You need to end it all because you can't even pay the bills. I attached my value. I attached my self-worth to an act that I'm not good at. See, real leadership is being able to put people in the role that they're good at. If you know you can't cook, don't do it. Put somebody in the role that can do that. If you know you're not good with money, if you know you have issues with money, if you know that your paycheck ain't gonna make it home, if you know that when you get your check, you're gonna go by the pool hall, you're gonna go throw some dice, you're gonna do this, you may go stop by a girl house and break her off something. If you know that you have a problem or an issue when it comes to finances, baby, get out of that role and put somebody in that role in your home that is that is good at doing that. That's what the Bible means when the Bible says that when Adam and Eve were in the garden, and the Bible says that they were naked before themselves and they were not ashamed. And here's what I love about that. They were naked and they were not ashamed. They were naked and they were not ashamed. They were naked and they were not ashamed. They saw every aspect of each other. They saw each other's greatness and they saw each other's failures. They saw what they were good at, and she saw her role in his life, and he saw her role in her life. And because of that, because they were naked and vulnerable and open with each other, they knew what they would add value to the marriage, value to each other. That's how a marriage should be. If you know you're not good at something, share it. But I did that. I did that in my marriage. My wife, she'll tell you I did that. And all kind of stuff getting turned off, stuff not getting paid. It was horrible. I was a horrible husband the first couple of years of our marriage. Horrible, because I thought that's what being a man was. A man is doing this and doing that. Last one. A real man should let women buy stuff. Oh, I got two more. A real man should let women buy stuff for him. So now you're pimping women, right? In our culture, the African American culture, we highlight pimps. We put pimps, people that allow women to take care of them, people that allow women to pay all of their bills, and they just sit in the house and they sleep and they rest all day. She's at work doing everything. She's paying all the bills. She's at work. And when she come home, the house is filthy. The children are not picked up. You haven't done anything. You are a pimp. And we highlight pimps in our society. There are songs out there that highlight pimp. It ain't easy. What's that song? P.I., M.P. I used to listen to A-Ball and MJG talking about pimping women, using women, taking from them to take care of you. Now, I'm old school in this now. And Kim, I'm old school in that. I don't believe men should allow a woman to take care of them. I don't believe that's. Now, I know I'll probably get some backlash for this one, but a woman should not be taking care of a man. You should be happy. You should bring something to the table. Something to the table. And I understand sometimes work is up and down. Jobs are up and down. I understand that. I've been through all of that, and I know exactly what you are experiencing. But baby, let me tell you something. If she's working right now and she's bringing in the paycheck, baby, you need to be at husband. You need to be at every PTO meeting. You need to make sure everybody got something to eat. You need to make sure the house clean, or somebody bringing in somebody to clean it. You need to be ironing her clothes. You need to be doing the laundry. You need to make sure that those things are taken care of. Taking something off of her plate so that she can do these things. You should not be sitting at home allowing her to take care of you, and you got your feet kicked up like you shooting the bobo, like you some big dog, and you pimping your woman. You are a punk. That's what you are. I'm just going to call it like this. That's what you are. You are a punk, and I have no respect for you. You should not allow a woman to take care of you. You should be the primary caregiver in the home. And listen, I understand that. And we're going to talk about this in the message, because sometimes we attach our self-worth to our jobs. We attach our self-worth to our income. We attach our self-worth to all this stuff that's going to pass away. And you got people that around you that look at you as the main hero, and you don't spend any time with them. Those are your children. You have a role to play. You are very, 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 very vital. You are vital. And I'm going to share a story at the end to show you that your importance in the home. Last one. A real man should always have a chick on the side. A preacher told me that. A preacher told me that. A real man. The person told me, he said, listen, those cars that come out of Detroit, every car that come out of Detroit got a spare tire in the trunk. And every man should have a spare woman on the side. A preacher told me that. No, you are a whore. That's what you are. You are a whore, and you are opening the door to your marriage, and you're allowing her to step out on you. And you know you can't handle it, because you know our egos now. We can't handle that. We can't handle that now. She step out on us. We want to go put a gun in our head and kill everybody in the house. But you can't control, you can't keep like my granddad said, you can't keep your britches up. Britches. I never figured out what britches were. I guess those are pants, but you can't keep your Johnson inside of your pants. You don't have any self-control over your Johnson, but yet and still you want to be the man. See, we've linked manhood to promiscuity. We've linked manhood to lack of commitment. And we're trying to impress our boys, and our boys want the life that you have. Your boys, they want everything that you have. They want it. They want it from you. But you're too ignorant to see it, because you're trying to impress some jokers that don't have an inkling of what you have. But you're trying to impress them. So we've attached our manhood to monetary things. We've attached our manhood to some fictitious role in the house. We've attached our manhood to position and prestige. We've attached manhood to all of this stuff, and none of that has anything to do with what a man is. None of that. None of that. It's amazing to me. Sometimes I go see people that are, I hadn't seen them in a while, and we'll sit around and we'll be talking and everything. And as we're talking, we have a good conversation. As we're talking, we'll be sitting there talking. And I said, so what are you doing? I said, so how's everything going with you? I just maybe a question that you ask. How's everything going with you? It never fails. Men always link how things are going with them to their job, money, and things. Job, money, and things. They have nothing else to talk about. It's always about your job, always about your money, always about your thing. I'm sorry, the last one I want to talk about was, can't nobody tell me nothing. I've heard so many men tell me this: let me run my household. You're screwing up your household. Everybody in the household hates you, so you're not running your household. And what that has done is allowed men who need help. See, I needed help on how to be a good husband. I needed help in that area. I needed help on how to be a good pastor. I needed help in that area. I needed somebody I could cry out to. This journey of manhood is not for the weak at heart. It is not for the faint. It is the most pivotal job in the community, in the church, in the home. It is the most critical job that you have, and that's being a man and the anchor in that home. It is the most critical job. That's why the enemy attacks it. So he attack it. So you think the divorce is about you and her not getting along. No, the divorce is to remove you, man, out of the home so the enemy can come in and steal your seed. That's what it's about. The battle is bigger than you. You think it's just between you and her. We can't get along because she tripping. She do it. No. The battle is about them little ones in that house. He wants to destroy that seed. It ain't got nothing to do with you. He wants to destroy the seed. That's what he wants to do. I want to close with this story. 60 Minutes did a story, July 14, 2014, in South Africa. You can look it up online. It's called the Rogue Elephant. It's called the Rogue Elephant. In Kruger Park, they had an overpopulation of elephants. They had so much overpopulation that it was causing problem with the tourists. So to bring balance to that, somebody came up with the idea. They said, we're going to kill all of the male elephants, and we're going to take the younger elephants, male and female. We're going to take the younger elephants, and they just took them out of the park, and they was hoping that the older population would just eventually die off. So they removed all of the younger elephants, and they moved them. Looking at my notes right here, I want to make sure I get this right. They moved them to a place called Helensburgh Park. They took all of the younger elephants, male and female, with no elder males. No elder males. So they took all of the young, 2 years and younger, they took all of the younger elephants and they took them to Helensburgh Park to pretty much raise themselves. And they wanted the older population in Kruger Park, the mothers and the fathers, they just left them to die. A crazy thing happened. When they removed those younger elephants and put them in Helensburgh Park to pretty much raise themselves and remove the father figure from those younger elephants, here's what they noticed. They noticed that the rhinos start dying at a higher rate in Helensburgh Park. The rhinos were dying at a higher rate because the elephants, who are generally peaceful animals by nature, start attacking and killing the rhinos. They also notice that the younger elephants start mating and intermating when everybody knows that the elephant is very if you study the nature of elephants, they're very family oriented. They're very strong. They're very centered in family. Well, when they removed them, and those younger elephants, they just start mating and cross mating with all kind of elephants. No type of, they just start cross mating. They also notice that the female elephants would not care for their offspring. So they would just have a baby or have a baby elephant and just leave it to the wild. Wouldn't care for it, wouldn't protect it. They noticed that the male elephants became extremely lazy, and they would just sit around all day waiting for the female elephants to take care of them. This was a real experiment. Look at it. And eventually, because the younger elephants at Helensburgh Park, they just start crossbreeding. I mean, just having sex with each other. They start overpopulating. They start overpopulating and overpopulating Helensburgh Park. And listen at this. They noticed that the younger elephants that they put in Helensburgh Park became extremely violent. The younger male elephants became so violent that they would attack guests when they came to the park. They would attack the tourists. They had never seen anything like this before. So what they did was the scientists said, man, in order to get control on this, we're going to have to just kill out the younger population of elephants that are in Helensburgh Park. We're going to have to just kill them all out and start over again. We're just going to kill them out, all of the elephants, destroy them, and we'll start over again. One scientist raised his hand, and thank God for this scientist. One scientist raised his hand in the room, had the courage to speak up, and he said, hey, before we do that, he said, why don't we do this? He said, let's go back to Kruger Park and get some of those father elephants, those male older elephants, and those mother elephants, and bring them back to Helensburgh Park. and give it about 2 months to see how can they refix it or regenerate it, or maybe I don't know what made him say that, but he said maybe if we could do that, he said let's just see how that works. They agreed to it. They went to Kruger Park where the older elephants were. They got 9 male older elephants. 9. Brought back those 9 male elephants and put them in Pellinsburg Park where the younger male and female elephants were. Within 30 days, the younger male elephants started going back out and working. The younger female elephants start taking care of their young and protecting the family. The younger male elephants stop fighting each other and start working together. The younger male elephants stop becoming violent and attacking tourists and begin to protect the herd. And here's the one. Both younger male elephants and younger female elephants stop just having illicit relations with each other and start building a family structure by taking 9 male elephants and putting them in the population of Pellinsburg Park where the younger people were. Within 30 days, they learned the structure of how things are supposed to look. What if we begin to understand, man, our role in the community? What if we begin to understand our role in the church? What if we begin to understand and stop fussing and arguing with each other? What if we begin to understand that, hey, we on the same team? And you know what? One of the things we're going to do, I learned this from Elder Linda Dabney. One of the elders used to be in our church. I learned this from Elder Linda Dabney. She said, you should never argue in front of your children. She said, your children should know you one way. She said, you should never argue in front of your children. Those are adult conversations that children shouldn't have privilege to. So what if we stop name calling each other and start respecting each other? And what if we start lifting our men up? And men, we start understanding who we are and our role in the home and what we're supposed to be. And we begin to understand that our value is not attached to a job. Our value is not attached to a position. Our value is not attached to money. Our value is not attached to our possessions, but the value we bring is a sense of stability. The value that we bring is a sense of focus. Our value that we bring is discipline and structure in the home. Our value that we bring is love and service and protector. What if we start answering our role and our true call in our home? How fast will our communities turn? How fast will our schools begin to turn? How fast will our churches begin to turn? How fast will our marriages begin to turn? How fast will our communities and the structures in our centers begin to change and turn and begin to build hope where they were hopeless, begin to build faith for the faithless? How fast would it begin to turn when we begin to understand our role and what we bring and our value to our family? Guys, we are valuable. We have a role to play. It is very important. And I know we're coming up on Mother's Day, and I would never devalue what women bring. But we have to understand that this is a team thing. We do this together. We need each other. We need each other. But most importantly, men, we need you. I want you to meet me here every Thursday. Every Thursday, we're going to pull this apart. We're going to break this apart, and we're going to start dealing with what manhood looks like. And I believe that out of this series, we'll begin to take our roles and we'll begin to walk into the authority that God called us to walk in. God bless you. We'll see you on next week.